Hello, Earth System Science. I hope that this message finds you well. I am here to deliver your weekly agenda for April 20th through April 24th. You should hopefully have come into this week having finished your greenhouse effect comic strip, where you understood the importance of human-sourced carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere, which then has been trapping heat, especially an increase in the last, let's say, 150 to 200 years, and thus having a great impact on climate on Earth. And so this week, we are going to look at how the changing climate has major impacts globally. And so that is the goal of this week, is to create something that proves that you understand some of those big impacts from climate change, with a couple of other opportunities for extra credit. So here is your agenda. Three items on the agenda. Of course, we're still learning about the atmosphere. We are now focusing more of human effects of the atmosphere and climate change. Number one on the agenda, obviously, is what we're going to be focusing most time on. It is the product that you're going to be making that I'll explain in a moment. The other two are some extra credit opportunities. We'll begin with climate impact projections. So it says the information found in the climate impact projections document, including this Bill Nye video, we will use to create a product of our choice, and then we'll use some requirements to help ensure that we get full credit for this assignment. So I'll begin with the climate change impact projections document. You'll want to start by just watching this linked Bill Nye climate change video. It's not long. It's got good information. A lot of it should be a review, but it'll kind of keep us on the same page. And then on this document, there are 6 different impacts that you will choose from. You'll eventually choose 4 total to put onto your product. This used to be, before our change in remote learning, a one-pager. You can still make a one-pager, but I'm just giving you more options, which I'll explain in a moment. But that's why the one-pager thing is there. So we have changes in precipitation, shifting fresh water, changes to ocean chemistry, rising sea levels, shorter and milder winters, and spreading disease vectors. Okay, and so those are your 6. From which you'll choose 4. A couple of pictures that might be helpful. And here's your 6 topics to choose from, which you'll choose 4 of. Here's some examples of changing precipitation. Obviously, precipitation or rainfall or snowfall is going to look differently in the future because of climate change. Here you can see an example of some place getting drier, some place obviously receiving more rain than previously. Shifting fresh water, we know from last semester talking about how important water is, especially here on the Front Range, that more and more people will be using groundwater because there is less and less snowpack in many parts of the mountains. Here's some images on how the ocean chemistry is going to be changed. Here's an example of ocean acidification, right, which could and will and is already harming those animals in the ocean that require calcium to make shells. And so as the ocean becomes more acidic, it becomes more difficult for those organisms to build shells. Also, we know heat, right? As long as the ocean is heating up, you're going to be losing animals, especially coral, is susceptible to temperatures. Here is some examples of the fact that the sea level is rising, and so you're going to be causing on this side some migration. People that used to be able to live on the coasts no longer being able to live there, and simply another example of that, right? Like a lot of water being in a place where usually water was not because the sea level is rising. An example of some shorter, milder winters, you have loss of tourism, ski tourism, especially here in Colorado. And this is a picture of the pine beetle infestation. The warmer winters are, the more beetles survive the winter, the more trees that they're able to kill, essentially. And then finally, spreading disease vectors. Vectors are essentially animals or something else that can carry and spread disease. Think about mosquitoes, think about ticks. As the climate changes, a lot of these animals' ranges extend, right? Places where they never used to live, now they can live. They can carry malaria, dengue, other types of disease with them. So those are some visuals. Sorry about that one, it was a little bit gruesome. The information for your product, or one pager if you choose, is found on this page. You use the information given to you to create your product. You can find other information if you want to do more research, but notice that under each topic there's 3 subtopics from which you can use as much or as little information as you want. Okay, so that change in precipitation, right? You just read through the information and eventually put it on your product. Okay, so that is your resource right here. You're going to choose 4 of these big topics out of the 6, and you're going to use your climate change impact product requirement sheet to make your product. And so a list of possible products I've written down, you can do whatever you want product-wise. It's not necessarily limited to these. These are the ones that I could come up with offhand. You can definitely make a one-pager by hand. If that's easiest for you, do it. You could make a digital one-pager. You could use Adobe Spark to make a video or make a web page. You could create a classic video. You could make a slide presentation. You could use the website Canva to make an infographic. You could use another website to make an infographic, Pictochart or something else. You could also use Flipgrid. I've actually added a link on Classroom to our Flipgrid post, which all you'd have to do is click that. It's limited. You'd have to log in with your Google account. The videos are short, 1.5 minutes, I believe, is the maximum. But here's our class Flipgrid. You just hit a plus button and record yourself making a Flipgrid. Again, the choice is pretty much completely up to you. So don't stress too much. Just do something that's comfortable for you. If it's a one-pager, so be it. If it's a slide presentation, so be it. You just want to get something out of it. So here is how you do it. You choose 4 of those subtopics from this sheet, right? So these are the subtopics: change in precipitation, shifting fresh water, changes to ocean chemistry, sea levels, winters, disease vectors. Choose 4 of those. And then you'll some way put a title on there. You'll have subtitles, and then information. This is where your information is going to be, right? Include specific content or facts for each subtopic. You can pull that directly from that document. Add an image per topic, right? That you could use some of these ideas for images that I showed you previously. Feel free to do that. You can add some quotes, add some questions. Again, should be simple and short. Depending on the product, you're not going to be putting a border, right? If you do a one-pager, please add it. Essentially, this is put there to make sure that things are looking good, as is this. So total 25 points go in the gradebook. Quick reminder that you literally can only have your grade increase at this point in the semester. So if you pretty much do any work at all, you're going to improve your grade. I urge you to ask me questions by email, but I can also set up a time to do like a Microsoft Teams or a Google Chat or something if you need help. So that's your big assignment for the week, if you make that product, and use this resource sheet for all your information and this requirement sheet to make your product. The other 2 items on our to-do are extra credit opportunities. So if you follow the Kahoot link and play the Climate Challenge Kahoot, just put in your username, make sure it's your real name, and then do your best to answer the 20 questions. Top 3 players will get extra credit for that. If you do an entire page of sketch notes, which you could do with your family or do with your brothers and sisters, or something if you want to mix it up, I urge you to maybe all do sketch notes together while you watch Chasing Coral. It's available on Netflix. I couldn't find a free streaming version, so if you don't have Netflix, you don't have to worry about it. It is extra credit. But I urge you, if you do have it and you have some time, as I know some of us do because we're quarantined, I would urge you to watch that documentary. It is very, very good. It is about the rise in ocean temperatures impacting coral globally. So that's all for this week. With any questions, send those emails with me. It's always nice to hear from you. But other than that, take care.